1. Penny questions her baby's paternity. While preparing for a baby scan with Penny, Vinny is unsettled by a call from an investor who could support his girlfriend's new shop. Despite his feelings, Vinny agrees to meet the mystery caller, then tells Penny that he will meet her at the scan later. After overhearing Vinny's conversation, Priya warns her relative to stay out of dodgy business. At the hospital, Penny goes ahead with the scan on her own, before she hears that her baby is further along than expected. Vinny eventually arrives by her side, but Penny decides to keep the surprising information to herself. Afterwards, Vinny resolves to secure funding for Penny's shop through a safer route. This triggers Penny to confide in Lauren and Oscar that if the baby was conceived before New Year, then Harry might be the baby's father. 2. Vicky and Zach feel the heat. Having witnessed Vicky and Zach share a charged moment, Mark can't help but question whether the pair are continuing their affair. Subsequently, Zach shares an emotional farewell to Barney, which leads him to rethink Vicky's recent suggestion that he move in with her and Ross in order to relieve his money problems. Ross then spots Vicky and Zach locked in a tense exchange, so the Fowler lady claims that they were chatting about Zach's finances. The next day, Zach and Vicky's chemistry is off the charts as they try to suppress their feelings for each other. Will they give in to temptation once again? 3. Vinny surprises Penny. After trying to avoid spilling any more details, Penny confesses to Lauren and Oscar that she and Harry were intimate on the day that he began detox. But even so, Penny makes it clear that she thinks the scan results are incorrect. Next, Penny and Suki clash over Vinny's efforts to secure money for the new business, leading Nicola to intervene and back Penny. In fact, Nicola even goes as far as to take Penny to Harry's barn for a chat. Later, Vinny surprises Penny with a lease for a business premises, but not only that, a deposit and 6 months' rent sorted. How will Penny react to Vinny's grand gesture? 4. Josh snubs Zoe. Overwhelmed by Zoe's attempts to reach out, Josh keeps his distance from his biological mum. Instead, the teenager chooses to spend more quality time with Patrick. Subsequently, the Crown Prosecution Service requests that Patrick record a video statement for Jasmine's upcoming trial. Given Patrick's grief, the Truman family wonder whether it's too much for him to take on. As the week continues, Patrick feels pressure from the CPS to provide his account, before Kim upsets Josh by making a thoughtless comment about Jasmine. As Josh considers whether he should visit his twin sister, will he go ahead and make it happen? 5. Penny receives an ultimatum. With George busy preparing for the launch of Night Fusion, Harry realizes that Nicola seems troubled. In response, Nicola explains to her son that she hasn't felt the baby move, but she doesn't want to scare George by telling him. Later in the week, Harry confides in Nicola that Gina doesn't want children, and that he and Penny slept together last year. With their recent exchange on her mind, Nicola confronts Penny and demands that she go through with a DNA test, or she will tell Vinny and Harry everything. Will Penny have no choice but to give in? 6. Elaine tussles with Ian. After Elaine learns that the venue she picked for her campaign event has cancelled, George comforts his ex-wife. Elaine then explains to George that she saw the event as her chance to prove that she is still a great landlady, even though she no longer runs the Vic. Feeling sympathetic, George tells Elaine that she can hold her event at Night Fusion at no cost. At the next opportunity, Elaine tries to rub Ian's face in it, leading to a physical altercation between the pair. 7. Nicola is overcome with pain. As George focuses on Night Fusion business, Nicola informs Penny that she needs to do the DNA test today, or she will expose her secret. Desperate, Penny leans on Lauren and Oscar for advice, then directly confronts Nicola. The two women share an intense conversation, but as Penny makes her exit, Nicola is suddenly overwhelmed by pain. Harry tries to convince his mum to go to hospital for a checkup, but Nicola decides to rest up at home instead. As Night Fusion launches, Nicola goes through the motions of what feels like contractions. Is Nicola about to give birth? 8. Billy clashes with Bea. For quite some time now, Billy has been unsettled by Bea's behaviour, particularly in relation to Honey and his family, and this week Billy continues to struggle with Bea. Later, Billy confronts Bea about her spending, but it's him that ends up feeling like a fool. Will the rift between Billy and Bea grow even wider? 9. Nicola gives birth prematurely. As the opening night of Night Fusion begins, Harry informs George that he is worried about his mum. Leaping into action, George rushes home and discovers Nicola on the floor in agony. The pair attend the hospital, where Nicola voices her concerns about giving birth to a premature baby. Not long afterwards, Nicola undergoes an emergency cesarean and delivers a baby girl. After the operation, Nicola is distraught to be kept apart from her baby on the basis that she is suffering from flu symptoms and bleeding. George then shares a sentimental moment with his new daughter as he looks at her through an incubator at the neonatal intensive care unit. Will Nicola and George's baby make it through?